So, what really happens when we die? Let's talk about it. Death. The thing that so many people are so scared of. But we're going to get into this touchy topic. I mean, one thing you will be certain of, you will die. Okay, I was going to say you will pay taxes and die, but not everybody pays their taxes, okay? But let's just get into it. This is something that, especially in many communities, including the black community, that people just don't talk about. And beyond that, a lot of families just don't like to talk about it because everyone is scared to die. Or maybe everyone. I'm not that scared of it. I'm not really scared of anything, but once you get to that point, you'll see life a little bit differently. But let's get into the topic at point. What really happens when we die? There's so many things that people think. People think we reincarnate. People think that we go to heaven. People think so many things, right? People think that whatever you think is what is going to happen, that your mind is that powerful, which it is. But let's see. Some people believe, just like in Wakanda Forever or in Black Panther, that you return to go be with the ancestors and that your ancestors are protecting you. In a lot of Hispanic communities, they give honor to their family members that have left with things like Day of the Dead. So many different things, right? But in many African traditions, death is just seen as going back home. It's seen as you're protecting those who are coming after you. You're just going back to where you came from, right? You're going back to your spiritual home, right? So that's what a lot of people think. And that's why a lot of ancestors, we say that they're alive in spirit. They're watching over us, their descendants. And we're just honored. We honor them in ceremonies, right? Now, let's look at death as a transition and not an end. Okay, so a lot of people, especially in Christianity and other religions, they believe that your body dies, but your spirit, right? Your spirit goes on to be somewhere like heaven. And you guys are going to see what I believe by the end of this video. And you will be very, very surprised, maybe, maybe not, by my answer. But they just think that your essence or your spirit moves from the physical realm into a spiritual realm or heaven, just kind of continuing that cycle, right? What do you guys think about that, right? Some other people think that life is not linear. It's not like, oh, you're born and then you die. No, they think that, again, you may reincarnate, right? So you may come back as something different. So some people think that you reincarnate through newborns. Some people think that you get reincarnated through animals, different things, right? But what do I think? If we're just gonna be plain and simple, what do I think? First of all, I had to stop getting scared of death. Well, there was a period or time in my life when I was scared of it. I was maybe like 15 or 16. That's kind of when my frontal lobe developed, and that's when I started thinking and having anxiety like, oh my gosh, I don't want anybody to die. I don't want anybody in my family to die, and you just have those intruding thoughts, right? So that's kind of where this started from. But ever since I was a young girl, my dad was always like talking about death, like it was nothing. And I'm like, why is he talking to a 6-year-old about death? Like he'll just be like, you know what, one day all of us are going to die and I don't want you to feel sad about it. And I'm like, is this man okay? Like, I'm 6. But I'm glad that he talked to me about it, because eventually everyone is, right? And hopefully you will get to experience life and have enough years to where you're bearing your parents and not it's the other way around, right? So you have to think of it like that. And he kind of just prepared me and got me ready, for just life. Because a lot of people, a lot of families, they don't talk about death. They don't discuss it. They don't want to die. They don't talk about wills. And then, once someone dies, okay, now we're looking for wills and we're looking for bank accounts and things like that. Again, especially in a lot of black communities, right? What do we do after it happens? You can look at your main celebrities once they pass away. Everyone is fighting over their stuff, or maybe they weren't married, so, you know, or they were married and the family wants their cut. There's just so much that goes into it. But let's get into what I think about death. This is going to be a shorter video. What I think happens when you die. I don't think death is a bad thing. I think death is just concluding your human experience, right? You're just concluding it. You're done. You've learned what you needed to learn, or maybe you didn't, and it's like, okay, peace out. I'm done with this earth for whatever reason. Maybe you weren't able to learn what your true meaning was here on earth, or maybe you were. But once you're done with this earth, you're done. Do I feel like when it's your time, it's your time? I'm kind of 50-50 on that. If it's your time, it's your time. I'm really 50-50 on that. I'm still learning and honing in on that for real. Sometimes I do, because sometimes I feel like, you know, certain people, they might be the only survivor of a plane crash, the only one. Was it their time? Did they have more to, you know, give to this world? And then the people that didn't find out their purpose, were they ever going to find out their purpose? So did it matter anyways? There's so many layers to it, right? Another thing about death, another thing is when people say, well, it is what it is, and, you know, they're in a better place. Are they in a better place? Me personally, I don't believe in heaven. I don't believe in, okay, you come to this earth, you die. If you're good, you go to heaven. If you're bad, you go to hell. But when you're in hell, it's hot and there's fire and there's pitchforks. But when you're in heaven, it's like just serene bliss and euphoria 24/7. Like, I don't believe in that either. I believe that you need to carry out your life while you have breath here on earth, and you need to live your life to where you would be proud and where others around you would be proud as well, those you don't know and those that you do know. And in the end, when all is said and done and you take that last breath, I believe nothing comes after that. Shocker. And this is probably the least popular, or at least culturally, the least popular theory, right? I don't believe anything comes after it. I believe you just close your eyes and you go to sleep, but it's like you're dreaming forever, but you don't see anything. And I kind of had that revelation. One day I was having a dream. You know, if you're spiritual, you know, dreams are usually downloads, and everyone is different, right? But I had a dream that I died. That was the first dream I ever had like that, and it felt very real. And as soon as that happened, I closed my eyes. I had like a dream in a dream, but in that dream, it was like total darkness. So I know I'm dreaming. I'm conscious that I'm dreaming, but I don't see anything. And I immediately woke up. I felt that experience for like 1 second. So I was like, does anything come after this? Is there anything after this? What are we all doing this for? Right? So that's really what it was. It kind of lines up, you know. We have so many spiritual experiences, but after having that experience, I said, yeah, I'm just going to live my life for me, and that's it. But that is what I think. What do you guys think? What do you think happens after we croak? What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments or wherever you're watching or listening to this video at. Thank you for watching Sis Woke Up. I'm glad you're awake. And now that you're woke, let's get to work. Bye.